We're in a beautiful woodland, and if you look around, the ground is clothed with such beautiful bluebells, all as far as the eye can see in this woods. As I was looking around, pondering, I thought, wow, what would it must have been like in the Garden of Eden before Adam and Eve? A new world, a new garden for them to explore. And it was there that God said, look, you can eat from every tree, just as far as the eye can see. But God said, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the moment you eat that fruit from that tree, you will surely die. And it was actually Eve who was tempted by the fruit, because it was the serpent who whispered those words in her ear. Did God really say, you can become like God, knowing good and evil? She listened to the serpent, the lies of the enemy, and she was so tempted by it, she took the fruit and she ate. Now the interesting thing is, once she ate it, she gave it to Adam, who was there with her. So it's interesting that Adam, he was the one that had the command from God, and he was the one there with Eve, just possibly waiting to see what would happen if she ate the fruit. So he wasn't a particularly good husband, was he? Because he let her test the fruit first. And because he ate, then all of a sudden, death and sin entered into the world, which is what we know as the fall. Now, every one of us that are born in this world are born into Adam. And that is why we have a proclivity to sin, a real draw to the flesh. And what happens is that God comes along and takes the initiative and sends his Son as the new Adam, who lives a perfect life, sinless life, and eventually comes and dies on a cross. And the reason why he's done that is to take the punishment that we all deserve. And then when we put our trust in him, when we call upon the name of the Lord, that which was lost from the Garden of Eden, has now been found. So Jesus is the new Adam, and when we believe in him, we are then moved from Adam into Christ. And that means we now have the righteousness of Christ, the new Adam. And now we can have a wonderful, pleasant, and glorious relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. And isn't it wonderful now that when we come to places like this, we can enjoy it, because it reminds us of God's goodness.